And the bug showed up, so it's fish camp.
We are at our Tlingit Haida's Smokehouse Camp for adults. We have a modified smokehouse that we've renovated the past several days. We have caught and donated fish from Heidelberg. Tonight we're going to break down the fish and put them in the brine and get them ready for the smokehouse. So we're going to let them hang overnight in the smokehouse and start the smoke tomorrow and finish up the process on Sunday by canning them, putting them into these jars.
Well, to be honest, this whole summer I've been thinking about fishing, and I don't own a fishing pole, I don't have a boat, I don't have a smokehouse. So when this opportunity came up, my name was probably first on the list. My family my grandmother comes from Yakutat area. I'm Raven Koho, Tlingit Haida, and my grandfather comes from Angoon area. This means a lot to me. Really what I look forward to is, eventually having my own smokehouse and being able to go out and get my own fish and be able to give back to my family and my parents and, my grandparents and have something to help provide for them.
My family is commercial fishermen and fisherwomen, but I didn't really grow up fishing. My mom's generation did, and my grandparents. And so I just wanted to connect that part of my history to myself. I feel a lot of personal responsibility for keeping the culture alive. I feel like I have the privilege of having spare time in my life, and so I should use that to benefit my community by learning these things and by passing these things down.
See how the bones are going downward? Yeah. Working on our foods there's not a better story, there's not a better conduit for being able to tell that story. And so it's not just purely the nourishment that we get from the nutrients and what have you. There's what you see around us here at this camp, for instance. Families, it's not uncommon for families to work on this fish together, to tell stories, to learn histories, to laugh and just have a good time. So it's not just all about work. And you're gonna kind of go right down the center of it and pull it up. Pull it up. See that? Voila. What we're doing here are making smoked sockeye strips. In addition to that, they're going to be learning how to make a subsistence beach seine net. We have an elder from Heidelberg that was fortunate enough to come up and teach us how to build a brand new beach seine net that we'll be able to use for the food security program.
It's more or less a straight seine, and it's the oldest known form of, they used to use fibers, roots and stuff, bark, and do all this by hand, all the web.
15 minutes, okay?
All right.
Yeah, it's just purely kosher salt. It's like a one cup of kosher salt per gallon of water. It's pretty basic. That's what I found to be the best tasting, because you want to be able to taste the sockeye. So tonight we're gonna let them hang dry and allow them to develop the pellicle that they need, and then come back tomorrow morning and start the smokehouse then and start to smoke. It could be anywhere from 2 hours if you wanted the lightest smoke possible. It could go as many as 3 days. What we're gonna do is just do it for the day and then come back Sunday, take it out of the smokehouse and can it. Process it further with the canning.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 fish. So
11 each.
11 each.
Yeah. We did good.
All right, you ready?
Okay.
I take great pride in sharing that knowledge that's passed down to me with my kids, with my immediate family, with my friends and their kids who call me uncle. That feels great, and I like that, having that impact, but that's a very, very local, very small impact. And so having a job like this where I have a bigger megaphone and we have all of these wealth of talent here at the tribe to help tell this story. That's what I'm really looking forward to, is whilst we were able to really physically be with the campers here on this weekend, it's going to touch way more than just the dozen folks that were here with us this weekend. We are in the final process before we put them into the jars. We're cutting the smoked strips. Most people like to show off their beautiful sockeye red color. We're going to do skin side in, and flesh out. So this is going to be beautiful. There's great programming out there as far as cultural camps, language learning camps, and lots of programming that have been directed towards the youth, and rightfully so. But we have to remember too, take a step back and acknowledge that there's many adults out there that don't really have access to these types of programming. That was a big part of how we arrived at this, was really filling in the gaps and trying not to leave our tribal members behind just because they're adults. I measure success with smiles, especially after all of the hard work.
That looks good. See that? They're still boiling. Like this one's bubbling.